big apology to the last video. I was on my time of the month, right? And hello, my name is Lauren, if you couldn't remember. I'm sorry about the horrible lighting. It's 6 at night. I decided I'd like to talk about my biggest fear. So I'm talking really monotone right now because I have to talk quietly. I know posters have fallen. I am very well aware. My bed is right there and they all fall on me. Don't go like, hey, you have some missing patches in your wall. It's like, oh, did not know that. Thank you for telling me. So my biggest fear ever is getting shot. I know that's like, what the heck? That's probably not gonna happen to you. Well, let me tell you a few stories about how my biggest fear almost came true, and my biggest like getting shot in a certain place would be in a school. Overall, getting school shooting, no, I'm definitely scared of those. My first one was when I was at a middle school, okay? So there's a middle school and then there's the middle school that I'm at now, okay? So I'm gonna call it a middle school and then B high school, because there's a middle school and then a high school and then B. There's no B middle school, but there's B high school. So anyways, so those are the code words, alright? So when I was at a middle school last year, my brother and my sister were at a high school. I hear like, oh, we're going into lockdown. And I had my iPod, I had an iPod at the time. It was right in my hand. When we went into the corner, okay, I always hated going into the corner because I knew that like we weren't safe in the corner, especially if it was a school shooting, because they'd know the routine. They'd go, they'd open the door, and they'd shoot everyone in the corner. They know exactly what corner, especially if it's a student, they know the drill. We sat in the corner and I texted my sister. The first thing I said is, hey, are you guys okay over there? Because if something happens at my sister's school, we go in lockdown too. Sure enough, she's like, yeah, everything's fine, blah, 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 you know. And I'm like, she's like, why? And I'm like, I hear shooting. I'm hearing the shooting and stuff. And then after a while it stops, and then they come on announcements, and then my teacher tells me something, right? She's like, a couple roads down from the school, okay, our school's in a really ghetto neighborhood, okay? So she's like, a couple blocks away from the school, this guy and the police are having a shootout. The second situation. So I go to school, right? Blue Ribbon School. That means it's like one of the best in the country. It was yesterday, okay? I made changes to go, because I'm supposed to go to a high school, but everyone at a high school hates me as far as now, or the grade I'm with, you know? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to B high school. B high school is so much better. It has a math program that I love. Well, yesterday my school went into containment, and I was like, okay, whatever. We were watching movies, so it didn't really matter. And then I get home and my sister's like, did you hear what happened at B? No, what? So what happened is there's these two freshman guys, right? 14 and 15. Yeah, they were 14 and 15. And they were talking outside their locker and they were making plans to do something, like to shoot up the school. And that's the school I'm going to next year, keep that in mind. And so then someone heard them talking and they kind of reported it to the principal, and the principal went into the lockers and found guns and the kids got arrested. But let me tell you something, okay? Since my base fear is getting shot, I've been like researching, school shootings to make me more prepared for this stuff, right? So then I know where to go and what to do in case if something happens, actually. I've been watching, like, Columbine documentaries, Virginia Tech, just random stuff like that, right? I swear, I would never do anything like that, I promise. But, like, there's this... Okay, so what happened at 11:16, if I have my statistics right, I think it's when they started shooting the school. Dylan and Eric from Columbine. That's either when they planted the guns in the cafeteria, or the bombs in the cafeteria. That 11:16 is when those people were gonna plan and do that stuff, and that was creepy, because today is Friday the 13th. I've had my fingers crossed that I'm not gonna die that way. I'm really scared. And another thing to go along with this story, so when I was younger, I'd have trilogies of nightmares. If you don't know what that means, it's like a series of 3. So the first 2 would be the exact same dream, And then a few years later, I'd have one that connects them all, ending them all. So, for example, I would have one where at the end of my street, there would be a car there, and I would never know this, obviously, whatever. So I'd be playing in my front yard alone because my parents always tell me don't play in the front yard. There's a lot of people that could come down here and take us. I was playing out there alone, and it's always such a nice, peaceful day. Then I hear music start playing, and then counting down happens. And if I don't make it into my house by the time that it starts counting down, they'll come and attack me. But, like, I always make it. The third time I was in my garage selling stuff with my soccer team, and I hear the counting down, and I'm like, I know what that is. I tell everyone to hide, and we close the garage because we're in our garage. And I close the garage, the car smashes through the garage, and right as he's about to step out, I wake up, and that's the last time I had that dream. And one was about a black cat who kept pulling me into my basement. The last time it said, don't ever come down here again, or I'm gonna kill you. Last night I had a dream that I know I've had before, and I remember that it involved shootings, like me getting shot. I don't remember anything else from that dream. And I know I had that dream before. I, remember when I was sleeping, I'm like, dude, I've had this dream before. So, anyways, I thought I'd let you know my biggest fear and all the stuff that I've had kind of close experiences to my biggest fear. That was my video. Subscribe, like, share.